What's up, everybody? It's Joe La Puma. You were listening, you were watching the Complex Sneakers podcast. As always, I'm with my guy, Mr. Matt Welty.
It's a rainy day, but I won't let it affect my mood.
Keep the vibrations high. Yes. And of course, Mr. Brendan Dunne.
We got a lot of things that could potentially affect our mood, but we are not going to let any of them do so.
Yes, sir.
Happy to see you guys back in the flesh.
Same.
How's everybody feeling?
Feels good. Feels good.
And you put on for his squad
Yes.
this week?
Yep. The Sabrina
thank you for that.
Nescu. Sabrina Nescu episode of
Oregon Ducks legend.
Sneaker shopping. Yes. I think someone in the comments said, "Can she hook you up with some tickets, maybe?"
Okay.
You gonna be next to Big Boy soon at the game?
Wow. Big Boy and Andre 3000 showing up to an Oregon football game. Yeah, this past weekend. He was at the Arizona game in Autzen. Wow. To be next to them, what an incredible feeling that would be. We might have to put me on assignment. Maybe the sports team, maybe Chops or Adam Caparel could send me out to Eugene for a little on the field action.
And Oregon won again.
Yes. A little bit of a shaky win. I don't know if you guys. I don't want to turn it like
win,
I don't want to do
a win
Ducks
is a win
segment like every single episode.
Okay.
I feel
A win
bad.
is a
I
win.
feel like it's selfish. We're gonna win out though.
A win is a win though.
Oh man.
How's the week going?
Like I said.
Okay.
How honest do you want me to be? There's a lot of things that could affect us, but we're not going to let any of them do so.
Okay, I'll kick it off.
Please.
I just came back from Dallas, short trip, weekend trip, great city. Had a good shoot there. We landed in Dallas, okay, and super producer Dave Matthews tends to, wherever we are, he acts a little touristy, I will say. He I'm the type, I go to the hotel, I relax.
Been there, done that.
Just like.
Maybe a little jaded even.
Yeah, maybe. He likes as soon as he drops the bags off at the hotel.
He's on TripAdvisor scrolling deep.
Absolutely. Fresh off seat 37B. He lands, drops the bags off at the hotel, and then immediately he wants my cousin, he responds, I know someone. Every city in America, he knows someone. Yeah. So this one, my cousin recommended this barbecue. We go to barbecue.
You got some Q going, right?
Let me tell you this guy's order, okay?
You got the Fred Flintstone rib?
First thing,
yes.
A pint of Mountain Dew.
Pint of Mountain Dew, the Fred Flintstone rib, $41 rib.
What?
A $41 rib it was.
In this economy?
A $41 rib. There was a line at this place, Pecan Lodge, out the door essentially. And they were just waiting to eat inside. Dave, which we all know, he's very quick on his feet. He asked the server any way to get around this, and they were like, well, if you eat outside, you could order at the bar. It took us 10 minutes. So anyway,
love that.
We got
Big
barbecue.
life hack.
He leans into the barbecue, $41 rib, like this.
He was leaning afterward, I'm sure. You get that much meat in your stomach. Man,
I couldn't eat
gravity.
After the lunch, I couldn't eat the whole night. The whole night. Now, the best part, and we know classic Dave Matthews stories where I've said he has 8 burritos on planes. He has, at 8:30 in the morning, has had full Shake Shack meals on planes to L.A. He leaves to go to the airport Sunday after our shoot, and apparently he took leftovers.
From the barbecue
the barbecue the day before.
Got some white bread and just made a sandwich on the plane?
Kept the barbecue and ate it right before getting on the plane, apparently. So classic Dave Matthews. The rib, though.
Yeah, you showed us a photo of that.
We have the picture. I took a picture. Right now, I've been taking and you guys should do it. We take pictures just so we can put it in these podcasts. But yeah.
Sure. Did you pull the classic move of when the check came and you were like, hey man, I ordered an $18 platter and you ordered a $41 rib. I am not splitting this bill with you.
Well, someone came up to us and was like, how much did that cost? Check your receipt, like another patron of the, and Dave didn't realize it was that expensive, but
it's in the budget took care of it.
I don't know.
Safe. Joe, I got to say, I'm a little surprised, and maybe it was a quick trip you took to Dallas this weekend because there was an important cultural event happening here in New York City while you were gone.
The pizza?
The San Gennaro Festival.
I know. You went in my honor.
I was rolling.
You went in my honor. So we were well represented.
Is that cultural appropriation?
I mean, this whole end of the summer, and you're continuing it into the fall. Your little tour of Italy. You're stacking up cred.
My exploration.
One of the most
Italian
iconic streetwear moments of the year occurred outside of the Noah store. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh my God, you're right. The Noah store, which of course is on the border of the San Gennaro Festival. Did you see the tweet?
There was a couple fornicating underneath the awning.
I saw
the
it.
store.
I saw it. Yes.
God. We don't have much more to add to that. Actually, I will say I did go into Noah this weekend, and who should be sitting on the couch but former store manager who now works at SNS, Will Whitney.
Will Whitney.
A man we're trying to get on this podcast.
Shout out Will.
But
Honorary Armenian.
He's been a little bit resistant.
Okay.
So I pressed him in real life.
Okay.
You got to force
Kept
his
the
hand.
energy.
Yeah, so I'm hoping we can continue to work. And speaking of getting pressed, while I was at the San Gennaro Festival, I did get pressed myself.
What?
So some people from the New York City sneaker resale mafia rolled up on me.
PG knows. They said stop talking about PG like
No,
that.
and they told me that they have to be on the show. About five deep. My man, I still have to answer his DM. Upscale New York.
Upscale crack?
No, not upscale crack. Yes, he said
He's been mentioned on this.
I know. He showed me all the videos.
I'm pretty sure he accosted us. Not accosted, but
accosted. I didn't say that.
He was running a campaign at Complex Con of everyone running up saying, "You need to get this guy on full size." Right?
Well, I have his number right here.
Still going strong.
We can FaceTime him now.
No.
Okay. Well, I'll respond to the DM upscale crack. But yes, 5 gentlemen said that they need to be. It was a lively event at San Gennaro Festival. Sorely missing your presence, Joe.
Damn.
Did you get the Action Bronson Pizzette?
Yeah. Did you guys anyone go to that? Action Bronson making pizzas?
Okay. You should know it being in Williamsburg on a Saturday that Matt Welty definitely did not make it.
I actually was in New York City on Saturday. He
doesn't show up to Williamsburg unless there's an ice cream flavor with his name on it.
I was in the Bronx.
Oh, tell us about let's go right there. Take us all the way up to the Bronx, up to Yankee Stadium.
Yes.
The game.
Cultural
New York
event
Red Bull
that you were
played New York City FC. There was
shirts optional.
Yeah,
yes.
There was actually 2
shirts optional. For sure.
Throw that photo up.
Yep.
You need to submit
that
photo.
Okay,
We
got that photo.
There was 2 matches this week or this past week because there was supposed to be a match 2 weeks ago or something.
I'm sorry. Your lifeblood, your team, New York City Red Bull.
No, New York Red Bull.
Excuse me, New York Red Bull. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They played NYCFC twice?
So the whole game, the whole time where everyone knows where my cell phone got ruined in the bodegas and I sliced my finger, all of that, that was
Important
supposed
part
to
of the
play
canon
New
of
York
this
City, and then it rained that day, and that's why the match got canceled.
Okay.
So they had to reschedule a Wednesday and a Saturday because the season's already filled out.
But they played 2 games.
No, they played a Wednesday and a Saturday. So they played twice during the same week.
Both teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't go to the one on Wednesday. Went to the one on Saturday. Got up.
Sorry, I have to keep interrupting you because I want to know all the context. The one on Wednesday, who won?
So they were New York City FC was up 1-0, and Red Bull ended up getting a penalty in the 112th minute, which never even happens, and they scored the game tying goal. So 1-1. So we get the gang back together. It's been a while.
You use the word gang. Be careful.
Anyways, it's the crew. So we get everyone back together, go up to Yankee Stadium.
Saturday.
Handful of guys. Red Bull scores early goal, goes up 1-0, holds on to it the whole game.
Love that.
We're only shirtless when we're winning. So
that's the official rule?
No, that's the chant. Yeah, we're only shirtless when we're winning.
Oh, that's the chant. Who makes up the chant?
We all kind of do.
Do you have one that you made up that gets the stadium going?
Maybe not.
Okay.
So we win. I'm running through the middle of the Bronx, no shirt on.
As you do.
Great times, just reveling in the glory that is
New York football.
Yep. It's glory New York football. So it was just I felt alive for once in a long time. Not that I don't feel alive as a person, but
that was dark. Okay.
No.
Good and then dark.
The feeling, the real feeling, came back.
Yeah.
You were outside.
Yes, I was outside.
You felt like you were outside, and you were outside.
Yes.
How hostile is the territory there at Yankee Stadium for Red Bull fans like yourself?
I mean, there's things that have been covered by the New York Post in the past. They get kind of crazy. It's because I don't know if you guys have been there. There's kind of like a bottleneck in front of the stadium where it's like you get off the train and then you try to get in, but then all of a sudden everyone's kind of coming out of the subway.
Not the best civic engineering
time. And then there's like that, I forget what it's called, but there's like that side street that has like all the bars on it right in front of it. So it's like all their supporters are out there and we're all like bottlenecked at the front and they're trying to like make sure things don't happen. Like there's like all security and everything out there.
You were running.
And I behave myself.
But you were running through the Bronx like you were Giancarlo Stanton?
Probably.
Okay.
Who's that?
the Yankee guy who's killing it right now.
Speaking of which, Ronnie just dropped 30. How many World Series do the Yankees have?
Is it 27 still?
Come on. Joe's a diehard Mets fan, so of
That's
course
true.
It's
27,
totally fair to not know this bit of trivia.
27 or 28.
It's a hat for every win.
Let me
It's a hat for
it.
every World Series they won. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 27.
Did you have
Yankee fitteds?
Did you have 27 fitted show up at the crib?
No.
He's a Mets fan.
No, and
do you not
Ronnie knows.
Do you not remember
Ronnie knows
where
I'm a
his
Mets fan.
allegiance in the MLB lies?
Do you?
New York Mets.
Me and Ben
Citi Field.
Felderstein, the biggest Mets fans
Shout out to Ben.
in Complex.
Shout out to Ben.
But Ronnie is 10 years of Kith.
Love that.
This week celebrating 10 years of Kith.
There's the book. There's the billboard.
There's the book, the billboard at MSG. I may walk past MSG on the way home.
Love that. He did the special flavor at the Lemon Ice King of Corona.
Yes.
We got to go out there for that.
VIP
I didn't know
pizza.
about that.
We gotta go out there
VIP
for
pizza. Carbone in Miami has them.
And there's a lookbook.
There's a lookbook. It's not even a lookbook. It's like it's a
Aren't you in there?
magazine.
You got a spread, Joe?
I may have
Is
a
it a
page.
pull-out,
I may have a page in there.
Like
and
a fold out, you know what I mean?
Is it a recent photo or is it a photo from the past?
recent photo, and I may be wearing.
White sneakers?
Maybe we'll see.
Did they wait? They did so celebrating the 10 years. They didn't use the iconic Cove photo. No.
Maybe they should have. Maybe it's a sidebar. They should have.
Joe La
One of the
Puma and
first.
white
Yeah,
sneakers.
the ASIC. Yeah, the Cove Gel Light 3.
Of course, an iconic
One
photo.
of my first modeling gigs. One of my first and only.
You've appeared in a few lookbooks over the years.
10 deep.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Joe, things that are hopefully only first and only time it happened to you. I heard you had a little snafu at Customs.
Yeah, there's a pair stuck in Customs that I.
Can you say what it is?
It's the black off-white Dunk.
Okay.
And it's stuck in Customs, and I'm not really familiar. There's been a lot of Dunk
Are you going
Dunk pain points this week. The Sabrina episode of Sneaker Shopping went up. I'm wearing the Slam City Dunks, which I teased on this podcast before, and the toe box, the rubber toe box, totally is like a tar type of material.
No, the rubber falling off there, you felt like Lando Norris.
And it was my first time wearing them, but our friend Sneaker Den hooked me up with a guy, Brad Hobbs. Shouts to Brad Hobbs.
Oh, I know who that is.
Brad Hobbs.
I thought you
He's
said
from the UK.
Yes, he's from the UK, and he walked me through some treatment. I'm going to try to salvage them, and we'll see. But between the Slam City Skate Dunks falling apart and the off-white Dunks stuck in Customs, maybe we cool off on the Dunks for a little bit.
I'm hoping that Welty can help you out here because we went through it here a couple episodes ago. Welty's big
Custom
issue,
snafu.
so much more than a snafu. With
luckily, the other
Homeland
people
Security.
involved in the situation took care of it, so
Yeah,
I didn't have to.
Any recommendations for Joe though? How we can get through this? Because
I don't know. I did not. I told myself I'm not getting involved, and if other people want to take care of it,
Okay, so
thank
no,
you very much.
his answer was
He's not gonna
no
help
advice
you.
and no help.
yeah,
You're back, though, on vacation. Should we break the fourth wall and say we shot 2 episodes in 1 week because you were going on vacation and now you're actually
we're
back?
already-
I mean, it happened. We
we're already
actually
there.
shot 2 episodes in 2 days.
2
right?
days. So let's break the fourth
Jeez.
wall.
Okay.
And that's why
little behind
you
the
said,
scenes.
That's why you said good to see you because we took a week off from seeing each other in person. How was vacation?
we took a week off from seeing each other in person, but we didn't take a week off in the content. Notice that.
No.
Train
sir.
kept
You went to the
moving.
motherland.
Yeah, I was in Ireland for about 8 days. Had a good time driving around with my brother, spending some time with family.
Nice.
Backing horses in the pubs, eating mayonnaise, swimming a little bit.
You don't curry chips.
Yeah, but the whiskey tweet. We got a
Oh.
amazing. Wasn't even I wouldn't even say a clap back, just really good. Describe it.
Oh, yeah, I think I said that the single redeeming quality of Irish cuisine is their immutable enthusiasm for mayonnaise. And some guy said, you spelled whiskey wrong, And I said,
And the
"Well, actually,
guy
you spelled
literally
whiskey wrong."
spelled whiskey wrong.
I mean,
and
there's like a variant
No, there's
of
actually
whiskey,
there's
but,
actually 2 spellings of it.
Oh, well, then.
he definitely used the one that's less common here in
Oh,
the good
well,
old
joke's
US
on me
of A.
then.
No. Joke's on him. Joke's on him. The joke's not on me. I know that for sure.
Okay.
That guy fucked up. Don't ever call me out on grammar or spelling. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. He does
I
have a
thought
way with
in
words.
Ireland
He has a
you
way
actually
with
spell
words.
whiskey with a Y, no E.
We're in the U.S.
Ooh.
right now.
So I think he actually used the cultural.
Oh, my. You're going to talk to me about Irish culture. Okay. Go ahead, buddy.
I mean, you came back with the green shoes on. So.
Is this
Go
why
ahead,
you didn't want
buddy.
him to bring up his vacation?
No, I'm just like saying we could find out what's the way you spell whiskey in Ireland.
He did. He's being so shady right now.
Oh, man. I got to bring you with me next time, Welty.
Sure.
All right, listen.
Should we give away some sneakers?
You should give away some sneakers because let me tell you.
Yeah, we got something good.
Whoever's getting these.
We got something great.
Something exceptional.
Something special.
This week's question comes from Alec in Georgia.
In Norcross, Georgia, right?
Yes.
And that's important to say because our producer, Dave Matthews,
oh, yes.
his dad lives close to there. So
yes.
just for
so
everybody
we were
keeping
informed,
track at home.
We were informed.
Just so you know.
Shouts to Norcross.
Right? Norcross?
That's just outside the A and right near Dave Matthews' dad. Right near where Dave Matthews' dad lives. So
some trivia to put in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Listen, the Norcross claim to fame, the new claim to fame, is Dave Matthews' dad lives near there.
Put it on the Wikipedia
Doesn't even
page.
live there. He lives near
there. Exactly.
So glad we know that.
So this question comes from Alec, and the question is, do you guys have any specific preferences on how your sneakers are laced?
Important question.
Any thoughts on loosey-goosey, traditional, and how sneakers should be laced?
Yeah.
So the one thing, and where you and I agree on this, bar lacing was a big no-no in the retail days.
Wait. I'm sorry, guys. Can we talk about the shoes we're giving away?
Oh, okay.
Because
Did you wear the pink shirt on purpose today?
Why?
No, but look, it's all lining up. We have a pink box pair of SBs here. And just so people know how you can win a pair of shoes, we give away a pair of shoes every week with eBay here on the Complex Sneakers Podcast. If you go to ebay.complex.com, you can submit a question to ask us on air. And if we pick your question to ask it on air, we're going to send you a free pair of shoes from eBay's Authenticity Guarantee program.
Most expensive shoes we've given away on the show
Exactly.
so far.
Wow.
And I got to say, the lights are reflecting off the top of the box, and they're kind of blinding me, which is fitting because this is a brilliant sneaker, a shining sneaker.
Look at it.
And we are giving away today
Look at that.
a pair of Diamond Dunks.
Don't call them Tiffany's.
This is the best sneaker we've given away.
Wow.
Look at it.
One of the
lick
best
it real
SB
quick?
Dunks there
Don't-
ever was. Should I lick the sole?
No.
Can you recreate the Nick Diamond photo real quick?
Right.
What a pair.
Man, beautiful. Tiffany blue, diamond blue, croc skin, embossed leather, and most importantly, maybe the eBay Authenticity Guarantee tag right on there, so you know they're legit.
You're not gonna lick them, but can you give them one big sniff to see how?
Who's this guy?
if you want.
Look at how good they look, though.
Yeah,
Seriously.
smell pretty good too. Imagine walking through
Dead
the streets of
stock, they
Norcross
look-
in these, and Dave Matthews' dad stops you dead in the street and says, "Holy shit, those are crispy."
Yeah.
as that
Actually,
Diamond
yeah.
That
Dunk?"
may happen.
Yeah.
We need the
Well,
the
no,
follow-up
it may
photo.
not, because he doesn't live in Norcross.
That's
he
true,
lives,
near.
He lives near
I used to
Norcross.
work with a kid at Foot Locker, this kid Eric, and he was kind of a hype beast and just kind of had disposable money. And he had a pair of Tiffany's, and they were his work shoes.
Oh, wow. Different.
They got beat up?
Dude, he worked like 40 hours a week in a pair of Tiffany Dunks.
Love
and they
that.
were legit. It wasn't a foo-foo pair.
Did you look at him when you said that?
No. We're just...
We know that I have a fake pair.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh.
Yeah, I had a fake pair.
Oh, yeah.
The shame. Sorry. We're
But
all
I got
over
a
the
real
place.
pair, too.
Anyways, speaking of Foot Locker, bar lacing shoes.
Okay.
The
So,
question.
are we gonna? Yeah, the question about lacing shoes.
Yes.
And I know that you and I agree on this, that the biggest no-no,
Bar
there's
lacing.
been many... Bar lacing.
We had to do that
Did
at
a
Foot
store-
Locker. That was the rule.
had to do
Okay,
bar lacing?
so that's...
All the shoes on the display shoes on the wall.
Yeah.
This was like in the early 2000s. I think they've since changed it, but they had to be bar laced, and it was the biggest pain in
Why?
the ass. I don't know, because they said it looked more like sleek on the wall, like the laces weren't bunched
Not
up.
true.
Anyways, the problem with that was is that nobody wants to buy a display shoe, but a shoe being bar laced is like the telltale sign that it was a display shoe. And you'd try to sell it to someone, they're like, "Well, where's the other one?" And you'd have to run out back real quick, and you'd have to
Bar lace the other one?
No, you have
No,
to
unbar lace the one on the
unbar-lace
wall.
it.
Oh.
I remember being at Finish Line, and when you, like new employees, when they went to go do the wall at night, some of them would do bar lacing, and the managers would be like, "We don't do that here. That's Foot Locker." But bar lacing to me never looked good. Really,
No, it's bad.
But do you know how much a pain in the ass it was that like at the end of the night, if you had like the 15 singles on the wall that you had to like fill up, and you had to bar lace all of the shoes, you had to put it like through a production line just to get the sneakers out.
But what about on a crowded Saturday, right? And you're closing. And the store is packed the whole day, and the wall that you have to refill at night, and you're just looking at the wall.
It looks like a war zone.
It's like 8:45. The mall closes at 9:30.
Yeah.
You're looking at the wall, and there's like 25 holes in it, and you're like, I'm gonna be here till 11 o'clock tonight.
And the worst thing is that when you sold a shoe on the wall that was like the last one, and then like you're like, oh shit,
what am I gonna fill?
Now I need to replace it. And there was always like the thing where there was like 3 pairs of shoes like in a row, so now you can't have the random one in, so you have to take all 3 down and figure out which 3 you're gonna put up for it. It's a headache. Anyways,
that was the
nightmare. So we know for sure bar lacing.
But then there's bar lacing was never my thing personally, or finish lines. The other thing is like we talked about the skipping. The big X's.
The Harlem lace job.
I remember the Nike Air Turbulences. I back in the day, I definitely laced them where like I did the one at the end or the beginning, and then the big X in the middle, skipped like 3 holes.
Yeah,
and then,
I mean, we could just talk about lacing, honestly, for an hour. Like the way, I feel like one of the ways that really showed people were into sneakers is the way people used to do SB Dunks back in the day with the little cross on the outside, you know, like the little X.
I never did that.
I never really did it, but I was always like, oh, that seems like the way to do it.
The X at the top?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to do that.
Well, that's way better than what the kids do now, where they call like the cause.
Oh, you see the Yeezy 350s with like the cause lacing?
Yeah.
No.
They make it look like they do like like same thing like a cross X, and like they tie it up at the top and it looks like the cause face.
Oh, there's so many lacing things that upset me, like Air Force Ones. You can tell, you know, if you really like Air Force Ones, I feel like you should be buying a half size down, and you know that's how the sizing on them goes.
They're too tight.
Yeah, a lot of people will still buy the regular sizing. Yeah. So it's bigger than it should be, and then as a result, they have the laces tied super tight with these long. I hate the long rabbit ear bunny laces. Oh my god,
they look like Lou Ferrigno tied the shoes.
What about man? It just
to me, lacing is the most subtle thing that you know if someone's in the shoes, if someone's in. And honestly, it's the thing I worry about the most. Of like, are my laces right? I remember I got to give him a quick shout out because it's his birthday today. Dallas Penn has said frequently that you're not really into sneakers if you don't undo the factory lacing when you get them in and redo them yourself. Okay. And that makes me feel self-conscious a lot of times when I take a shoe out and I don't have the time to do that.
I've had like talks with people about this because there's like, I don't want to like, no shots, but I would say that it's an older generation of sneaker, like a tier like above like where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of the guys online. I mean, you know, Facebook discussion groups with them who they think it looks better to tie the. That goes for the bloopers.
We're not gonna cut that.
It looks better to tie the laces behind the tongue, and I hate that. You got to tie your laces and put it like this.
And it just feels
I definitely
bad.
did that in 6th grade.
Yeah, but I mean, there's multiple levels of it.
Also, not comfortable at all.
There's certain people.
Exactly.
There's certain people that will like go all the way up and kind of like gracefully tuck it in, and there's people who will like actually like do a knot behind the tongue and like pop the tongue out.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about because the lacing fuels the potential
for
tongue fucking.
Which,
to be honest, I have. I just posted an Instagram of the Lightning 4s.
Yeah. And people keep adding.
Fuck on them.
After you wore them, definitely the person who I shot with was like, you know, your laces are totally undone. And for me to answer this question, to put a pin in this question, I go not laced very often.
Really?
Yes.
I can't do that.
It depends.
Even in the airport that we were talking about, where you like the fly knit isn't unlaced, like.
But there's even like varying degrees to it because I feel like there was a period where like I was wearing like a lot of Air Max 1s and I feel like I would lace them like, and this is probably like 2008, I would lace them 2 holes below the tongue, and it's like then I went up just 1 hole below the tongue, and it's like you never go up to the top lace. But this is a little tidbit of lacing that I feel like is forgotten by time. This is like a very 2004 to maybe 2007 lacing thing. Back when big baggy jeans were in, there was, you'd see people that they would tie their laces around their jeans.
I've never seen.
You never seen it? This was definitely a thing. So what you would do? No. This is trust me. Joe. Just
manufacturing a jogger pant before they became.
No, just ride me on this.
Okay.
This is probably like wearing like Air Force Ones, maybe black Air Force One Energy, big baggy jeans, and they'd pull the front of the jean out through it, and then rope the laces around like the the front of the jean, and
I
then
can't even picture what he's talking about in my head. We have to ask our guest. He might know.
We need to find a photo of that.
No, you take the front bit of the jean, pull it through, and then you kind of like tied the laces around it so it would keep the jeans in place.
We need to find a photo of that.
No, we do not need to find a photo. We need Welty to demonstrate that for us with his fine as big as denim and said, take a photo of himself because you have boggled my mind.
Great question, though. The question deserves...
Yeah, a pair of Tiffany Dunks.
What a come up. Shouts to Alex. Shouts to the whole Norcross. Shouts to...
And everywhere near Norcross.
Everywhere near Dave Matthews'
the greater Norcross area.
Well, let's get to the guest.
Our guest on today's podcast is one of the industry's most notorious sneaker collectors to those in the know. Although he remains behind the scenes, he's a mainstay when it comes to the sneakerhead community, as you may have seen him in the cut at your favorite industry events. But as he tells it, he's just a shoe dad who loves sneakers. He's currently the host of a What's a podcast, and he may be our first guest where only one name is needed. Please welcome to the show our friend Abdul.
What's up, guys?
What up, man? How you doing?
How are
Man,
you? What a pleasure.
What an intro. I'm truly honored to be here, man. Been a big fan of you guys, and I think I've listened to every episode. And friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like, produced by Dave Matthews.
Yes.
Associate producer.
Yes.
Who?
Jasmine Patta.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, what is
Listen
this?
to every single
Sound
day.
effects
I love it.
is
I love it.
Shiva Bayek.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kyle Garvey somewhere in there. Something like that.
Shit, okay.
Listen,
Okay.
I listen to the
president of the
credits,
fan
man.
club.
Love that.
I'm a big
We're so
fan.
happy
And
to
we're
have
fans
you.
of you.
No, I appreciate it, guys. I'm
You may have
truly
seen
honored.
this guy being a total animal at Complex Con.
Okay. Well, to that point, you said a couple weeks ago where we were talking about the DJ Clark Kent sneaker shopping in the morning of Complex Con, and you were like, "Oh, Abdul was there." I was like, "I don't remember him being there." He was in fact there. He let me know. He was like, "It was 7:00. He was there."
I sent him a picture with the timestamp that said 7:03 a.m.
Yes, and it's me just
And it
like
was
looking
of
flustered.
him and Clark.
So you came up that time too.
Man, listen, we went into full sicko mode that weekend. I mean, I think I left with about 65 pairs of sneakers.
Wow.
That was the first.
Clark-
That was the first Complex Con.
That was my first Complex Con. I think it was the
2017.
second one,
Yeah.
actually. But
65?
it was the year to be there. 65 or 70 pairs.
Was that
So many
was
Clark
that a
left
lead
with
year?
almost 100 pairs.
For the toe?
Oh my!
Was that
What's that?
For the toe?
What's that for the toe?
Like you're going to wear? Personally?
Oh, I still have a whole bunch of them. I got like doubles of everything.
What was the one with the? What was the booth where you could like win the shoes?
I won everything. I don't
No,
know
but
what
there
you're
was the
talking
one.
about.
There was the one. It was like every. It was like every hour.
fight is
It was.
fixed?
It was like.
Was it the Air Force One?
It was the
100
Air
booth?
Force
The
One.
Nike
No,
booth? Because
it
I
was
did
the
win a
next
pair
year.
there. Oh.
Zen didn't show up till 2018. I made up on that one too. I actually won like 4 pairs.
That's what I'm
of
saying.
sneakers.
There was the Zen booth where they're giving away all the grails.
Yes.
And I remember
Yes.
walking outside of there. You were just hanging out outside because you had to like enter on an app, and there
Yep.
was no
What
limits.
did you win at the Zen booth?
I
how many
won
you could
a
win?
pair
Tokyo fives?
of V-Lone Air Force One highs, the black with the white check. I won a pair of Atmos Air Force Ones, the 01 pair.
I hate this guy.
I won something else. I won 3 pairs. But I think what happened was nobody believed that Zen was actually giving away sneakers. And I was actually entering every hour, and because
And the
there weren't
odds
that
were
many
quite
people,
good.
yeah, the odds were all in my favor. So, but yeah, that sneaker shopping thing, man. Every time Clark went up there and he was doing the show,
Yep.
It's
and
just
with
like
Joe,
you said in the intro. Abdul, people may be watching this, they may be listening to this, and they're like, so who exactly is this guy? Abdul is the guy who, in every sneaker scene, every event, he's in the background and he's got his pair locked down already.
And I also love it though. He's always front row Complex Con Sneaker of the Year. panel.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel
Number
like
one
there's
fan.
some comfort. There's some comfort when, I'm up
You're a
there
little nervous.
and I see him front row.
no
'cause,
man, I'm
yeah.
a big fan of you guys, man. I've always tried
Appreciate
to be a part
So
of
to
it.
preface it though, how many? Because I know. So you always say you're like I don't have shit, right? Like when
Not
it comes
true.
to, when
A
it comes to
liar.
sneakers.
Look at his
Not true.
shoes.
Look at what he pulled
Abdul,
up.
just-
It's raining in
It's
New
a
York
rainy
right now.
day.
So a
And
lot of
that's
people
suede.
don't know.
Paris Dunks.
It's great because we have this new sneaker cam that we're incorporating. The people asked
Yeah.
for it.
Here you go.
So first order of business, what are we wearing this week?
Part of the upcoming Malaysia doc,
Yep.
2023. The good guys at Sneaker Law,
Shut the Brian.
A6 Gel Light 3s.
Hell yeah. You been to Kuala Lumpur?
I haven't. Should
We'll
we
take
go?
you. Yeah. you can road manage us as well.
I got you.
Joe, are you down?
There's a Stussy chapter store there that sells Kuala Lumpur T-shirts. Which
that's crazy.
Not
we got to do it.
At McDonald's.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll get you guys free stuff, man. That's what I do as a road manager.
Joe's got the Gyakuso joints on.
Yep, Vaporfly.
Fire.
Got these in LA. First, I unds'd them today.
You put some miles in on them, Joe?
You running
yet.
those?
Not
Joe
yet.
made him look good. Joe, I told him
Yeah.
this in being totally genuine. He made him look better than anybody I've seen, and I've seen a lot of
You're not
people
going to
wear
go
those shoes.
running, show off the calves a little bit?
We'll see.
Abdul, would you take
We'll
those on a
see.
6 a.m. run?
I did. I actually, the Vaporflies was my first running shoe. I started doing
Abdul's
that.
putting
And
the
then
miles in.
Yeah,
man.
I
every
kinda
morning.
advanced
Early
onto
riser.
the Alpha Fly. Yeah, man, the early morning thing is the vibe. I get a
Peaceful,
good day's
right?
work out of it, too.
Love that.
More productive.
I'm doing some S&S Adidas. I actually wore these on full-size run already.
Sodermalm.
Sodermalm. Yeah, we
We got the story wrong on that one, and people gave us hell for it.
people were mad at us?
Yeah, it's actually they're inspired by a football club called Brøndby.
What did I say?
In Sweden, you said it's Sodermalm was just like a neighborhood.
Is this not the Sodermalm?
They are the Sodermalm, but the reason why it's green and white is it's.
I definitely
football
didn't say
team's
that. If
colors?
anybody said it, you said it. There's no way I said it. Did I say that?
I think so.
Okay. Well, now here
We
we
gotta
are
fact
setting
check
the
that.
record straight.
Let's
Correcting
go.
the record.
Yeah.
For all our people in Sweden. We apologize.
And do we even have to say what
Come
this guy
on,
pulled up
look.
in the rain?
Paris Dunks, 2003.
Are those real?
Don't.
I believe they are.
Look good. Look good.
How many sneakers do you own just off the, like a rough estimate off the top of your head?
I would say somewhere about 2,500.
Wow.
And what
Did you listen to the last episode of
I
us
did.
trying to cut
and,
things down?
and that's the peak of it, or
Oh no, that's today. I've given away maybe 1,300 pairs.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
And it started just like everyone else, Jordan 1s for you.
Jordan once.
And you saw it in a TV show, right?
Police Academy 4.
Okay, so
Citizens
that's,
on Patrol.
Do you remember the scene? Because
No, I
that's
don't.
kind of like
I've
a
never seen Police
under
Academy
the radar
4.
scene.
Yeah.
But describe that. That's pretty cool.
So I grew up in Sierra Leone, West Africa. I was born and raised in West Africa. And before I even knew who Michael Jordan was, this movie came out called Police Academy 4. And there was a scene in it with some kids skating to like a mall or something like that. And they all had on Jordan 1s.
Okay.
I think, did I say it came out in 87 or 88, right? So, and I was just like blown away by the shoe. They had on royal blue ones, bread ones.
Did you have any idea what that shoe was?
I had no idea. I had no idea. I didn't even know there were Jordans. And a few years later, I moved to America in 1990, and I realized that was a Jordan 1, and that was the beginning of it. But I
And you had
started
to get
going
a pair.
crazy. Yeah. I got a pair of 85s that year from JCPenney.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
They
you
were
were
just
also
sitting-
buying stuff at those really important Baltimore retailers, right?
For
Charlie
sure.
Rudo shoes.
Yeah.
Talk
Charlie,
about that.
Charlie Rudo Sports was a retailer that was right by my house on Liberty Heights Shopping Center.
This is in Baltimore?
In Baltimore County. And but yeah, I traveled all over Baltimore for sneakers, man. Charlie Rudo Sports was really big. They played a big part in the revival of the Air
Right.
Force One.
that was like the color of the month program, or?
Right.
It was them along with Cinderella Shoes and Downtown Locker Room, and yeah, all those spots were on my list of places to go every week. I mean, Paul Blinken, who's the owner of Cinderella Shoes at the time, has known me since I was a kid, you know, and yeah, I mean, Baltimore is just kind of one of those cities that's just kind of underserved and just unappreciated when it comes to sneakers and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, Air Force Ones, everybody gives the credit to New York. And of course, New York is the mecca of fashion and everything, and everybody looks to them for that. But the shoe honestly would not have been around if it wasn't for the city of Baltimore.
And we can just settle the debate right here is that Nike boots are
100%, respectfully, Jim Jones. I know Jim Jones said that it was a New York thing, but
But it's not.
I mean,
DC area.
Wale
Yeah.
had a song that did that, and that was already before the song even came out. Nike boots were at an all-time high in Maryland as well as
So
in
wait,
DC.
he's saying Jim?
No, you're saying respect, respect
respectfully-
to Jim Jones,
Yeah,
but
Wale.
He was wrong.
DMV got it.
Yeah.
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 Didn't you?
I'm kind of disappointed you don't say. I think this is one of the coolest things about the whole DMV area is that they say the word choose. Like it's like the.
That's a Baltimore
That's a
thing.
Baltimore thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a Baltimore
Which
accent.
is different from
You
the DMV.
choose like that. It's sort of like a little
How do you
twang
know
to it.
that?
You it's that one word that you really pick up on if you
Yeah.
talk to people about sneakers from
Yeah,
that area.
it's like something like Bostonians say garage and
Right,
cat, and
right.
it's something similar to it. Like Baltimore has their own little accent that's you can pick it up anywhere you are.
Yeah. So Abdul, you're kind of unique among our guests because a lot of people we have on this show are people who really work in the industry.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily work in the industry, but you're friends with everybody in the industry and you know everybody in the industry. But you did work at a shoe store growing up at one point, is that right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I worked at Champ Sports when I was a kid.
One question.
Yeah.
Did they bar lace the shoes on the wall, or it was regular?
It was
before
regular
that.
laced. But this was also in the mid-'90s.
Yeah.
So I was
Got
a
it.
kid at the time. And actually, at the time, Champs was owned by Kinney Shoes.
Okay.
This
And
is
then
a-
they bought Foot Locker.
Well,
Yeah.
Foot Locker was already part of that family.
yeah.
So I would actually work at Champ Sports in Owings Mills Mall in Baltimore County, and I also worked at the Foot Locker Security
Yeah.
Mall. Like if somebody didn't show up and they were short on people, like
They could bounce you back and forth.
Yeah, and that's actually how I started traveling for sneakers, because at one time I was sent to set up a shop in Christiana Mall in Delaware.
Okay.
And I got there, and that's when I kind of found out from other people working there about like sneaker stores in Delaware, and then I discovered Joseph's and City Blue in Philly.
Oh,
just because
Joseph's is like the legendary spot.
legendary spot, man. Shout out to the lady who owns it.
Yeah.
It's now closed. I think
Yeah, they got hit hard during
during
all
the
all this-
riots,
yeah.
but yeah, they had a lot of shit, man. And City Blue, of course, but Delaware, I think, was one of the most slept on cities when it came to sneakers, man.
Interesting.
That's what I heard. There's all these like mom and pops like stores.
And actually, it was my spot to go to when I was camping out for like SBs and stuff. There was a skate shop.
Delaware had the heat?
No,
Kinetic?
they didn't. They
Is it
always they
Kinetic?
had the heat like everybody else, but nobody was going.
Okay.
So I would come out of a club called Dream at like 3:00 in the
Oh,
morning.
Dream, yeah.
And shoot straight up.
And then go to the
95,
camp
and
out.
go to Kinetic Skate Shop.
Yeah.
Get there by like 5. I did that for the MF Dooms. I did that for all kinds of sneakers, man.
What about for the Paris Dunks?
Nah, the Paris Dunks came from Paris.
You went to Paris?
They came from Paris.
So it's been like, but Abdul, like 31 years of collecting,
Yeah.
essentially, right?
Yeah.
And like 31 years of real collecting. Take us through kind of like what it looked back then.
Yeah.
You said these came from Paris, and what it looks like in 2021 for these like new hyped releases for you.
Well, I don't know if I necessarily even like to call what I like buying sneakers as collecting, because
Okay.
This is the guy with 2,500 pairs of shoes.
He's always like, I don't have a lot of shoes. I'm not a collector.
well, I'm
I
not.
don't have shit,
I have
I'm not
everything I
rich."
have is in my size.
Okay.
And
Respect.
And I have the intention of honestly wearing everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I pass away, God forbid. You know, so I never bought anything just to say, yo, I have this pair and I'm just gonna keep it on ice. It was never that intention. It was always like, yo, you have these in my size. All right, I'll take 4 pairs. If you have all 9s or 8.5s, which I was wearing back in those days. So what has changed is really that you can now literally back then walk in anywhere,
Yes,
and find pairs on the wall, and that's just not. It's different now, man. It's I find that now, like I do that if I go to like consignment shops or the buy, sell, and trade shops. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I get that's almost
Finding
the
something
same sort
special.
of feeling.
Yeah.
Like if I walk into like a Round 2 or like a Soul Priorities or places like that, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm still able to see like something I missed out on or something that I just want another pair of.
Yeah.
You know, and some of the prices are not really that crazy.
Do you buy on consignment if you're looking for a pair that's escaped you?
For sure. I
Okay.
still do that. I just did a trade, actually with a guy that I was on Complex Wars with.
Sam?
Sam.
Yeah, shouts to Sam,
From
owner of Soul Stage.
Yeah, so I did a trade with him, and I did another trade for the Travis Lowe's with these guys out of Charlotte.
Okay.
From called Soul Priorities.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, man, it worked
Is this part
out.
of the trade that you're mentioning on
No,
our
not
podcast?
at all.
Like,
This part, it is part
Tony
of the
Mui.
trade. No, I'm joking.
Bringing the community together.
Yeah, no, but I get that feeling of like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, like community and being able to talk to these dudes about sneakers.
Yeah.
I think that's what's maybe a little bit missing. Like if you walk into like a big retailer today, you know, you don't have these sort of conversations with the people working there. And that's honestly, you were talking about relationships and friendships.
Yeah.
I built that over the last 15, 20 years because of things like that. I'd walk in and everybody would want to talk shop and talk
Yeah.
sneakers.
Yeah.
And you eventually become like really good friends with these people. And so that's how it happened.
And don't you have like, is it like friends and family like Futura Dunks that like released at like his birthday party?
Yeah.
You like flew out to Hawaii or something to like hang out with Futura just to get the shoes at his
I
birthday party?
did not. I did not fly out to Hawaii. I actually got those from a guy. I think he's in the Netherlands or in Ireland or something like that. But he's apparently one of the biggest Futura collectors in the world.
Really? Wow. But you were at the birthday party, weren't you?
I was not at the birthday party. I did not even know Lenny in person at the time.
Okay.
First name basis.
That was 2005 or something.
Yeah.
I did get the Dunks, and I do wear them very often. But
what about the Wu-Tang Dunks?
I don't have those.
You don't? You
No.
did at one point.
No. The pair that I saw and I actually posted.
Oh, they're custom.
What happened
They
here?
were lasered with the Wu-Tang symbol on the side. So
Capri.
I actually said they were the new retro.
Capadonna.
And this guy,
Wait, I want to ask. 'Cause there's so many shoes he
me a
has.
minute.
You like that?
That's
There's so
funny.
many shoes you have that I'm just like, how? Okay, how about this? Supreme Dunks with the Air Force One bottom.
Yeah.
Who was that, Mayor or Clark Kent? Or
he
you?
has
Neither.
You were,
You
you
have
were in the
them. Oh, yeah.
kitchen?
Yeah. No, I wasn't in the kitchen.
How do you have them?
It's apparently a pair that belonged to one of the skaters who was a size 9.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
And they came.
that was maybe a
into your
guest
collection.
on this show.
Stevie,
No.
P-Rod?
No. I don't think he's been on the show.
Okay.
I would not have seen every episode. He's not
He's
not
a
been on
super
the show.
fan. He would know.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
would know.
he would know.
Yeah, but they came from his camp.
Yeah.
It's funny because you say you're not a collector, but I think the true sign that you are a collector is that your 2 daughters have like a better sneaker collection than like anyone else on the internet, and they're like wearing Bapes from like 2004 that are dead stock that you're just like getting, and you're like, no, I
That's
don't
a
collect
fact.
shoes, and I'm like, come
Well,
on, man.
I got them for them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I've once I found out my wife was pregnant with my eldest, I started kind of going ape shit with finding
Bape
stuff.
shit.
and
Yep. I was
Kinda
right.
going,
He doesn't miss.
You guys are fast, man.
He doesn't
Brendan
miss.
Dunne, listen.
Yeah, he doesn't
Go on.
You own your shit.
I'm sorry.
No, but I started kind of scouring the world and trying to find like stuff that in kid sizes that I'd never actually seen before, or just something that's very, very rare. So
And you see them just tearing it up at the skate park.
yeah, they go
like these-
crazy with
yeah.
it. They have no respect for like sneakers.
To that point, to that point, what is the shoe that you had your biggest hunt for? That you jumped through a ton of hoops for?
That's a good question. Probably these.
And explain how you got those.
So
They came from Paris.
I actually got these from a kid who had just bought them from the spot they released at.
Okay.
I think it was Opium in Paris,
Mm-hmm.
and he had just bought them. And I happened to be in Paris at the time, and I just fast talked him. I'll be honest, man.
Okay.
It was just one of those transactions. Like something got lost in translation,
Okay.
and I ended up like
You got a good
walking
deal.
away. I might have lied about the currency conversion rate or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And just got him a little bit, and by the time he figured it out, I was gone.
You were in the
back
States.
on a flight back to Baltimore.
Well, I was back in the streets of Paris.
Okay.
But with the sneakers.
Abdul, the other thing too is you're a guy who likes to hunt for sneakers, and I feel
Yeah.
like you have been on so many of those expeditions that people dream about and people see about on the internet, where you will go to a store somewhere that you will never disclose the location of with a bunch of dead stock pairs from 20 years ago in the basement,
Yeah.
and try and get whatever you can. Talk about that. And is that still alive? Are there still places like that?
It is still alive.
There's still places with dead stock Nike gems from decades ago that you can clear
Some
out
of
of the
them are
basement.
not wearable, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think like like how they talk about like the elements of hip hop, like
Yeah.
is DJing and MCing
Right.
and graffiti or breakdancing, whatever. Like I feel like if you were to come up with some elements of like the sneaker stuff,
collecting, yeah.
like I think I might have like hit every one of them.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything from being young and loving sneakers to going out and buying sneakers in bulk and, you know what I mean? Like 10, 12 pairs at a time and like owning like multiple pairs of stuff to camping out to working at a sneaker store to all of these things and going digging for sneakers and finding old
How do
shops.
you find those places? Are you just looking up in the phone book? I mean, we don't want to give away
That's-
too many of the secrets.
Listen,
right.
listen. There's ways that I have a guy
Okay.
who he's on his full investigation
Really?
shit. Yeah.
DJ Clark Kent.
Not Clark. But
Do we
Clark,
know him?
Clark, you guys do not know him.
Okay.
Yeah. He's super on the low.
Can you give us a glimpse into the process at
Yeah.
least? Like you have a guy who researches cities,
He does everything. He calls like places in Minneapolis.
And you'll drive to Minneapolis? You'll fly
If
to
it comes
Minneapolis?
to it, I'll go.
And what's the
Yeah.
what's the best
Oh,
hit
man.
you've ever? And you don't have to say the name of the store because again, we don't want to give away too many
Well,
secrets.
the stores are closed.
Right.
Yeah, the stores were closed, but it was owned by a family that owned like 5 or 6 stores.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
In like it was about 4 hours away from DC, so it was a nice little road trip. But they had about 20,000 pairs of stuff.
And what'd you pull out of there?
I mean, I got a lot of kids stuff. I got nothing that I could wear, and this was actually stuff that had already been run through. But
okay, you could tell somebody had been there picking
for
through
sure,
the stuff
for
before.
sure. But their Reebok selection was insane. I mean, you would have gone crazy. Bach boys, yeah, it was absolutely insane. But I got a lot of my kids stuff that I found was from there. Like, awesome. You know, like Air Wintralias from '98, like all these obscure sneakers that you might have forgotten about.
How many pairs of Scars Air Force Ones?
Let's see how it goes.
How many pairs? I only have one pair.
I mean, I know you're like the number one like Scars pizza
These
eater.
guys went again. I didn't get invited to another outing.
We're gonna go. We'll go after the show.
These
Don't worry
guys,
about it. We'll
these
make
guys
the call
went.
and have a pie sent over
sometimes they hit it on Saturday. Saturday during the day, they go to Scars together.
Yeah. Shout out to Scars, and of course, shout out to Audi's. Shout out to Clark.
And you were on the list at Scars.
I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to get a pair of those.
And you're the originator of the list.
What is the list?
Talk about the list.
So the list actually kind of started out, and it still is really a big joke. You know, it started out as, you know, kind of being on the list for anything, right? Like getting free sneakers or getting seated. It was never happening to like me, like most of the time, right? So it started out
back in the
as
day,
that.
it wasn't happening.
Actually, it was happening more back in the day than it is
Really?
today.
You get a lot of free sneakers.
No.
Sorry, let me not derail
Those days kind of over. Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, during the heyday of you know, the campus stuff, you know, I was getting some stuff from there. But, you know, people moved on. Like a lot of friends get moved into new roles and moved to other companies and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's how the list started. It was sort of just being able to have access to stuff.
Yeah.
And it still is a big joke with Clark Kent, myself, and a couple
every
other friends.
post. For the people that haven't seen it, Abdul will post some rare, impossible to find shoe on his Instagram.
Yeah.
And always attribute it to the list.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, most of those are all coming from my big brother, Clark Kent. Happy birthday, Clark.
Happy birthday
to
Clark.
Happy birthday, Clark
Wow,
Kent.
what a special day.
should we see if he'll pick up?
Let's see if he picks up.
Okay, you should FaceTime him first and see if he picks up, and then if he doesn't, then Abdul should pick
yes,
up.
yes,
Then
yes.
Abdul should FaceTime him.
He's going to pick up.
I don't think I've ever FaceTimed with him.
This is going to be
I
very
don't think I have
telling.
actually either, but my daughter's FaceTime with him more than I have.
All right, you try.
He's going to,
He's gonna pick up
For sure.
him.
If he doesn't pick up for you, he's probably not
No,
going to pick up.
he's gonna-
That means
he-
he's in the middle of something.
Tell him it's list concerning. It's, you know, it has to do with the
Take
list.
him off the list.
He's gonna pick up for him.
Where are we? FaceTime.
Imagine one. Is it connecting?
No.
Still ringing. Still ringing.
All right, we tried, but
Yeah.
let's see if he calls back. But I don't think I've ever FaceTime with Clark.
Yeah.
And I mean, the connection that you guys have is that you're his fake ass road manager.
Yeah, that's true.
No wonder
I am.
you're front row
So-
at Complex Con.
And you know what? That's kind of where it started. Was at Complex Con.
Okay, let's hear about
Wait,
it.
what,
Let's hear
what
it.
Well,
started? The
actually-
list? Where are
actually,
we
no.
right
The
now?
fake ass road manager.
Well,
Okay.
no, the road manager thing actually, I can't say what brand it was, but Clark was flying out to do a party somewhere for a sneaker brand, and he has on his rider a clause to activate a ticket for his manager or
That's.
something like that. He
I
does.
love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, listen. I mean, you know, Clark Kent, man, listen. So he was just like, yo, you want to go? And I was like, hell yeah. And that's how it kind of happened. I got flown out. Like I had like car service pick me up at my house, and
I've never had
you know,
that.
a guy with my name on it when I
He
landed.
spelled your name right?
He spelled my name right.
He's the only guy in the world who knows Abdul's last name.
And yeah, so that's how it kind of started. That whole weekend, I was just like, I'm his road manager,
Yeah.
like, you know, like management team, like just coming up with bullshit, right?
But how do you actually know Clark? How did you guys meet?
We met honestly through sneakers.
Yeah.
Maybe about 12, 13 years ago. theshoegame.com.
Shout out to G-Rock.
Shout out
Yolan,
G-Rock.
Shout out to G-Rock. And
Switzerland's finest.
used to have a forum on his site.
Mm-hmm.
People would show some sneakers here and there, and you know, I sent in a video, and you know, I never showed my face in it, and I think Clark commented, he was like, "Damn, you got some shit," something like that, and I messaged him. I was like, "Yo, anytime you're in DC,
Yeah.
please hit me up."
Yeah.
And he did. He was like, yo, I'm coming in actually next week. And so we met up at a friend of ours, the friend that we have in common, Ducky, who owns the store Major.
Yep.
We met up at his shop, and you know, Clark and Ducky go back almost 30 years, and Ducky and I go back about 25 years. So it was, you know, it's.
You took him to Yums?
He refuses to go to Yums, which is a DC classic and a staple for carry out.
Speaking of Clark Kent, I think this is a good transition to talk about something that we need to talk about. So Clark, originator of many things.
Yes.
He originated the whole trend of wearing white on white Air Force Ones one time and then ditching them. Obviously, it gets passed on to Jay-Z, becomes a cultural phenomenon. The whole world kind of, I wouldn't say does it, but it's kind of like the idea that you don't wear Air Force Ones a lot. You know, it's like you keep them crisp and...
Well, white on white specifically.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Crisp and, you know, fresh. So, you know, there's been a lot of contention a lot lately with, like, how fresh does that mean? You know, there's, like, the whole trend of, like, cooked Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
Nowadays, and there was like a post that Complex had actually done over the weekend.
It was part of a feature. It was part of a feature that ran, I think, a couple months ago. I think Nick Grant actually did it. And
how to wear Air Force Ones.
Yeah, and I think there was an asset that said, what did it?
Dirty Air Force Ones aren't cute.
Yeah, and it got a lot of feedback. And then the next slide was basically, I think, Jay-Z, for like context, showing Jay-Z in a crisp pair of Air Force Ones. But that post got a lot of feedback, and even on the side, we were talking about some like conversations.
Well, Nick Diamond had left a comment on it saying you always used to wear his Air Force Ones crisp, but he doesn't mind wearing them a little dirty.
And then even Virgil.
So we're battling against purists.
Yeah, and
here wearing
his friend
our
Arthur
Air
Carr
Force
had
Ones.
like Air Force Ones that weren't pristine, and coincidentally, it was the day after the Complex
maybe
post.
not coincidentally.
Maybe not, but yeah, you are a big Air Force One guy, and you were around Clark Kent and Mayer. Where do you stand on like and have you seen the trend in DC as well?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Where do you like stand?
I mean,
on
I
it?
see it within my nieces and nephews. Like, you know, they don't mind wearing beat up Air Forces. Even my daughters, actually, same thing. But I'm kind of like in the middle, man. I'm not. Have you guys ever been to Clark's house, seen his sneakers?
No.
So he has, honestly, I'm not exaggerating, maybe about 300 pairs of white on white. So
brand
new. So
just to have it is like
so if somebody can afford to wear once and then give them away, it would be that guy. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of in the middle. I don't wear them after they get dirty, but I can probably get
only white on whites we're talking.
Yeah, this is only white on whites. I can afford to go maybe 9-10 wears depending on what I'm doing.
That's what I think. That's where I think you know, a lot of people maybe exaggerated a little bit. Where it's like everyone wants to claim they only wear it once, but it's like no.
There's only a handful of guys I think that will do just one time.
Realistically, you'll get a pair of Air Force Ones, and maybe you'll wear them, you know, a few times throughout a summer, and like that's your pair, and you don't get them cooked. But I feel like there's a huge separation between not getting your Air Force Ones cooked and then the kind of current trend of like choked out like Air Force Ones that have been worn for 6 months straight. Like, you know, there's a total gray area in between that. You know
literally,
what I mean?
the shoes are gray.
Yeah, I mean, the only people I know that do that is Clark and All Day. Like, you know, they
wear
they
them once and get
wear
rid of
them once, and Mayer, of course, probably. I think he's given away a lot of sneakers or sold them, but I think his white on white stack is still.
But you shouldn't hate on someone because they wore a pair of white on white Air Force Ones 5 to 10 times.
But
are
you offended though by the cooked Air Force Ones that we're seeing, by people wearing dirty Air Force Ones too much?
I'm not offended.
Because like Joe said, when we posted that asset, there was a lot of feedback, positive and negative. You know, some people felt it was a classist idea to say that you shouldn't wear these shoes a bunch of times. And
wear
part of
them
it
as
is just
many
like
times as you want.
Okay, that's your official stance.
Yeah, that's my official stance. Wear them as many times as you want. I mean, my daughter's outside playing in them. They go skateboarding in Air Force Ones, and they're ripped. And you know, well, at some point, I'm gonna buy them another pair. Whoever got that 40% discount at Swoosh, holla at me.
And I feel like the Air Force One at this point too has just become like, I mean, it kind of always has been, but it's such a ubiquitous shoe that like not everybody who wears that sneaker is like into the whole sneaker culture or whatever you want to call it.
Of course.
So there's people who are just like, oh, those are cool shoes, and they don't know.
My dad wears Air Force Ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Black on black, right?
Black with a white swoosh.
Okay. No, I think this is a good point too, because I had posted on my Twitter that screenshot from Virgil's IG story saying we don't mind wearing busted Air Force Ones. We're out here battling the purists. And somebody responded to me saying, it's almost like there's two different shoes at this point. And like Welty said, this doesn't just belong to sneaker people anymore. There's the version of it that needs to be pristine, maybe for people like us or for people who we know who are into this idea of only wearing them a few times and keeping them as clean as possible. And then there's this other version where those people aren't in that same mindset as us. So we're not.
I get it.
We don't need them to be thinking about shoes in the same way.
And I know that this is like goes without saying. The fact that they're white on white is the biggest thing because black cement threes, I'd rather a beat pair over a pristine pair, but I think the white on white,
it's like meant to be pristine like that.
But it was funny because you saw a bunch of feedback in the comments of that asset, but I also saw people basically reposting it and agreeing with it. So it was like totally split. And also I think there's also some sort of like the Jay-Z era and the Dame Dash era, which is like, it's like, oh, we only wear white tees once, which everyone, likes to have a fresh white tee, but wearing once is like...
It's tough because
it's like for show a little bit.
I actually prefer it after they're washed a little bit. Sometimes the collar gets a little bit tighter, like,
you like things, having the bacon neck, the Michael Jordan?
I mean, things change. So actually, like, a crisp pair white tees, honestly, not always my go-to. Like, I'd rather wear a shirt that's been washed once.
But that's like what you're saying. I think there's like a difference between like, if you see like a teenager who has a pair of white on white Air Force Ones that he's he's been wearing this summer. They're not like cooked or anything, but you're like, okay, cool. But then I think on the internet, if you saw a picture of like if Jeezy had on a pair of like cooked Air Force Ones, people would like kind of like poke fun and laugh at it. You know what I mean?
I think everybody should just wear what they want, man. I mean, and I don't believe in clowning people for what they have on. I don't believe in calling people out if they got on fakes.
Really?
What
if it was a friend of yours? What if you saw me wearing fakes?
I would talk to you about it. I would be like,
pull me aside.
Yeah. I don't do the blow up thing or even on the internet or things like that.
Fair.
I think that's corny.
So
it's not for
you
me.
don't keep any gates?
No gates.
No gates kept.
This guy.
Yeah, no gates.
This guy the gate sometimes.
No, I know. And listen, and I respect him being a gatekeeper of what he loves and wants to keep it pure and authentic. But yeah, for me, I just wear what you want and I'm not judging anybody for anything.
How important is it to wear this stuff? Have you had stuff fall apart on you?
Yes. Actually, most recently, I found a pair of Carmine 6s, an original pair from in my mom's house. And
OG 1991.
OG 1991.
And you wore them?
I wore them. I went on a bike ride.
Come on.
On a bike ride?
So on your Instagram, sometimes you comment, someone will be like, "Are they wearable?" And you go, "They're a little cloudy, but they're still wearable."
Yeah,
for a bunch of shoes, right?
I'm pretty good at like judging, and I don't know why the sole looked intact. They weren't like super soft. They looked like I could pull it off, and I was just like, "Oh man, I'm gonna go on a bike ride." And as I was riding my bike, I just felt like my feet would get a little bit cold, and I looked back, and it was just a trail of crumbs, like leading up to it. So I still have them because the top is still crispy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do a sole swap or something like that, and that's become like a big thing now because, like, I have a shitload of Bapes, especially like Roadsters from back, like all the Pharrell Roadsters and stuff.
Cloudy,
Man, I wore those things like 3 times, and the sole like disintegrated on me. Damn. So I did a sole swap with like an all white Air Force One bottom on it, and so I found some guy in California who's really good, and he was able to do it. I actually wore it to Complex Con last year. Okay. The red Pharrell Roadsters with a white Air Force One bottom.
Pure custom.
Yeah, they're pretty sick. Just because the top of the shoe just looks so good to just throw away, man.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
I want to talk more about Air Force Ones too. Next year is a big anniversary year for the sneaker.
Yeah.
Was it 40 years we're coming up
40
on?
years.
Do you know what's going on? What's happening?
Going like a little.
Were you on that trip?
You and PG?
The NDA ink still
the NDA still is standing.
Okay, but do you have any guesses, or has anybody told you what's happening next year?
That was not a Nike trip, by the way, so
what is this?
Abdul went to Portland with a bunch of Air Force One collectors. We don't know what it's about. He's not going to tell us anything fair.
I wish I could.
We wish you could too. And maybe we'll ask you when the cameras are off. But that aside, do you have any guesses, or has anybody told you anything about what's happening for the Air Force One next year for the 40th anniversary?
I know nothing. I'm just hoping it's a lot of heat. You know what I don't
anything
want
on the wish
happening?
list? Mushroom Air Force Ones?
I'm not. I was just about to say I'm not okay with like retroing old colors.
Okay.
Like
now we're keeping Gates. Talk to me.
Well, I just feel like that time is kind of come and gone. Like,
let it be sacred.
Let it be sacred,
so like when Ronnie redid the linen ones, were you
I got those.
Okay, so you were excited to see that, though?
I was.
Oh, but you said you didn't want to see the old colors get retro.
I was. I take it back. It's like on a per case basis.
Okay.
Like, for example, the Hong Kongs came back.
And that shoe got slept on so hard. That was
There
crazy.
you go. That's what I'm saying. That's just
Kinda
an example
ruined it a
of
little bit, right?
It kind of ruined it
Taiwans?
for.
Were you
Well,
excited
I
for
feel
that?
like which ones?
Taiwans?
Of course, every one of them I've gotten, but I just feel like for the kids today, it just does not spark that sort of thing for them as it did for people like me.
But what about when you see something like, a handful of years ago, it's like they brought the jewels back. Were you excited to see that?
No,
Why not?
I never liked the jewels.
Okay, well, he didn't like her from the start.
Yeah, I never liked
Jewel
those
mids, these ones right now, the
I
gray
don't wear
ones,
mids.
PG's going crazy for that. No mids.
No mids
Ever?
ever.
What if you sat
I do
down,
own a couple of pairs of mids.
What if
that
you
were
sat
given
down
to
with the
me.
people at Nike and they said, Abdul, we are so appreciated.
Yeah.
Of your contributions to this culture.
Yeah.
We're honored
Yep.
by everything you've done for our footwear, and we
you gotta
want
do a
to
mid.
work with you, on an official Nike Air
gotta
Force
be a
One
mid.
collaboration
Yeah,
on the mid.
I do a mid without straps.
Okay. So you,
He would do it.
Of course.
yeah.
Yes.
Don't you think it's weird, though, how, and we've had this conversation, how, the mid is like I feel like there's a generational thing between it, because there was, a period, maybe, later 2000s, where, Nike wasn't making a lot of high-top Air Force Ones. So if you went to Foot Locker, they only had lows or mids, and
Yes.
everyone kind of, and, I'd say...
Thought it was a drought?
No, but it was probably, a generation younger than me, who was probably 14 at the time, was like, oh, those are Air Force One highs, and they didn't even know it was a mid, so they just wore it without caring.
Really?
So as they grew up older now, it's like they don't have an issue with the mid, but maybe it's you guys and Clark, where they're always like, you hate the mid, and it's...
Yeah, I've never been a fan of the mids, but that what you're just saying is also applicable to the Jordan 1 mid and the highs, because in the early 2000s, there were no Jordan 1 highs. If you wanted a Jordan 1, you had to get a mid.
The DMP Jordan 1 pack with the Celtics and the black toe they were
Those
were mids.
Were
They're mids.
Or the Old Love, New Love.
Yeah,
They were all
mids.
mids. Even the patent leather Chicago ones were mids. The black and gold pair that came out that was patent leather, those were mids. If you wanted Jordan 1s, it's just today now everybody's like, yo, fuck mids.
How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with mids.
Okay.
But
Jordan 1 mids.
Air Force One mids.
No,
Let me
Air
guess though.
Force One mids.
The one Air Force One mid that you have is the Recon ones, right?
I do not have those. No.
Okay.
The one Air Force One mid I have was gifted to me, and it was like a Brazil Air Force One, and I think it had a lunar sole on it from maybe 10 years ago, something like that.
The Digicamo one?
It was kind of like Digicamo.
Yeah, I know the one. It's like the pixelated type upper.
yes.
There's a 97 in that pack as well?
I think so.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was that. Also had the Ricardo Tishi mids, which were sort of like a high.
That doesn't
you
really
do
count as a mid.
Yeah, it doesn't count as
Yeah,
a mid
yeah.
because the height was a little bit significantly different than it was the size of a high, because the highs were like come up to your knees.
You didn't do those?
I did not. I passed.
Wear those with some shorts.
Joe La Puma got those? You say?
Not the high one.
The
okay.
cabs. I don't think they fit in.
They didn't go through the calves.
Functionally wise, I don't.
Oh
why not?
man!
What was the last sneaker release or sneaker that really got you excited?
A weird one actually. The Denim Tears Converse. I went and camped out.
Yeah,
for
I
those.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember you saying you were hyped
and
for
the
those.
Pan African flag.
Okay.
I really liked those, and it was a black designer, and what he did with it, and having that flag on it. So I went to a spot in DC called Somewhere, which is actually also black owned.
They did the
and-
Joe
and
Fresh
camped
Goods release there.
Joe
yeah.
Fresh Goods had his thing over there. I think those, and they came out in the middle of the pandemic. So
Yes.
Remember you and I, we saw Tremaine, right? With Kirby?
Yes.
Outside of Scars
Yes,
that day.
yes.
I guess that was right before the shoes release?
I think it was after.
Okay, and you told him.
Yeah, because I met up with friend Bar Brown afterwards.
shout
and
out
Just a bar.
He actually had him on
There
later
we
on.
go.
He came and met up with us at Scars after
There
we
we
were
go.
gone.
Speaking of other black-owned sneaker stores that you have close connection to, T-shirt you're wearing.
Yes,
Yeah.
You
Shout
are
out to
my guys
you are
at Patta.
definitely on the list.
I am on the Patta list. I can't
Okay.
even front.
You have the Air Max ones already, right?
I do have the Air Max ones. Shout out to my
How are
brother
they in
Edson.
person? Good?
Man, listen, they sneaker of the year contender. I'm gonna say that right now.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say that right now.
Totally unbiased.
Totally unbiased.
They didn't pay you to say this? Edson didn't
They
throw you a
did pay
little...
me. No, I'm joking. They didn't pay me at all. No, it's a beautiful, beautiful shoe. and it actually comes with a bracelet in it, which is based on a chain that is very known in Suriname. And if you're from the third world, you know the chain. It's actually like very cheaply made, but it's if you're from, I had the same chain when I was in Sierra Leone, growing up, and I think it's just one of those things that everybody in the third world will recognize. And instead of a chain, they made it into a bracelet with a Nike locket on it, as well as the Suriname flag and Patta on it. So it's beautiful. The shoe's great, man. I can't even front. It's dope.
I thought about wearing it with the Patta guys. How'd you first meet them?
Actually, Clark and my brother Magdi.
Shout out to Magdi.
Shout out Magdi.
Listen, you guys should have Magdi on the show.
Yeah, for sure. If we can get him to the U.S.
Oh,
we need him in person.
Yeah, if you guys are not doing the remote thing, then he's going to have to come out here. But Magdi introduced me to Edson, and we became like really good friends after that. And, you know, I went to Amsterdam a few years ago and went to the shop out there. And
you have every single Patta Air Max 1?
No, I don't have the burgundy pair.
The best one.
The best.
The Patta Para one.
I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Actually, I had a chance.
Sorry to interrupt, but the one that I had a conversation with Clark about, that was the one where I told the story on this podcast where he posted a handful of pairs and we went back and forth on IG.
I actually, speaking of Clark, a few years ago, he had a sneaker expo show in Long Island, and I went up there for that. Actually, Joe La Puma, you were there.
You were VIP?
Yep. Joe La Puma was in there.
Yes, I went.
And there was a pair that was being sold for like $500, and I was just like, the burgundy pair. This was a bunch of years ago. In my size.
And you passed up on it?
I passed up on it. I'm not like rich, and you know, it's just I don't.
You're not rich?
I don't always like to spend a lot of money on sneakers, especially
he said he's
since
not rich. I'm not
today
even
I have
gonna go there.
kids and 529 plans and
what
you
did
know,
you say?
like
529 plans?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like a college savings plan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
I don't know anything about that.
Listen, step your game up. Have a kid.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that I had a chance to get them, and I passed. It was a big regret of my life.
How much does your wife give you hell for having all the sneakers, or is it like
no?
You need to stop?
I mean, my wife, when I first met her, I lived in a house by myself, and there was sneakers. It was a 3-level house, and the basement, the first floor, the living room, the kitchen.
Wow.
Guest bedrooms, guest bathrooms, everything had sneakers in it. She just, at some point, realized it was...
Accepted it, yeah.
Yeah, she was just... And you know, she actually... she worked at Sports Zone, which was a sneaker store as well, as a kid.
She gets it?
She kind of... She doesn't get it. Let's not go that far.
Okay.
But...
do you remember the first pair of sneakers you bought for her? That's a special feeling, right?
Yeah, I actually... I proposed to her in a pair of sneakers.
Tell us about that.
This is actually a little bit embarrassing.
Did you
the story didn't age that well.
Wait, did you take the one shoe off?
Yeah, the story might not have aged that well. It's my first time actually telling people this. But I got her the Serena Williams Collection Royale.
The Dunks.
The yellowish ones. And I tied the ring on the laces.
Okay.
And just had them in a box, and I was just like, yo, it was normal for me to buy her some sneakers. And I was like, yo, I got you some sneakers. And she opened it up and actually didn't even look at it. She's like, oh, all right, these are cool.
She picked up like...
she thought it was a lace lock.
And I was like, yo, nah, you got to open it up. Like, my plan just was not going according to plan, right?
Oh, man.
So she opened it up, and she saw the ring. It was like this, and I just got on my knee and proposed to her at that time.
Wow.
But again, we have to ask, when you got on one knee, did you take off your shoes so as to not crease the toe box?
No, it was in my house. I actually had on like slides or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if at some point you were thinking that you were almost like had to abort mission and then like rework it and have to like find the sneakers and take the ring out and figure out a way to...
I just kept on guiding her. I was like, nah, open it up. Look at the shoe. Let me know what you think. And, you know, she opened it up and took the shoe out and held it, and then she saw the ring. And
does she still have the shoes?
She does. She still has them. She wears them fairly often.
This is how you know that sneakers are Abdul's life.
They are my life.
There's all these moments throughout where that's the connection.
Yeah.
Even I want to know about the time you were at the mosque and you saw somebody wearing sneakers, and that kind of helped you early on.
Yeah, actually, that's funny you bring that up. But that's how I discovered Cinderella shoes.
Yeah.
My mosque was around the corner from it in Park Heights in Baltimore City. And I went to the mosque on a Sunday, and a kid in there had on a pair of Air Force Ones in a colorway I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
And I was like,
hold on, he didn't have the shoes on in the mosque.
No, I mean, they were on the, I knew they were his. It wasn't
Yeah.
that many kids in there because it was like a youth program, right? Sunday school kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, where'd you get those? And he told me it's a spot around the corner. And that was my first time going to Cinderella shoes because we ditched the mosque immediately and went to, and I went there for the first time.
What'd you buy at the...
I didn't buy anything at that day, but
it was when you discovered Cinderella shoes.
I discovered Cinderella shoes
Historically
on that day,
important sneaker
and then
store.
came back. Yeah.
A lot of history.
I listen. Sneakers have been a big part of my life, and they still continue to be.
Yeah.
Speaking of another friend of the program, you said you have a sauce.
Oh yeah. I have a new business venture with two of my really good friends called Two Island Boys.
How am I just figuring out about this?
Two of my really good friends, one's from Jamaica, one's from Trinidad. Shout out to Mario and Isham. They have a catering business in DC and in Trinidad, and they used to be this sauce that had a barbecue sauce and a hot sauce that they would give out to their customers just for free, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
I've been begging them to bottle it for years and years and years, and finally, over the pandemic, we decided to just partner up, bottle it up, and start selling it, and it's doing really good. So.
And does Premium Pete know about this?
Yeah. Yo, Premium Pete actually. Shout out to
helped
Premium
you.
Pete has been instrumental in
Okay.
helping
He
us.
said- that's what I meant.
told
Friend
you,
of the
yeah.
program.
That was
Listen,
the friend of the program. Welty was
sauce
talking about.
connoisseur.
Did he tell
Yes.
you if a dime bag gets sold in the park on one end?
He does. I do give him a cut off.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I actually met
What
Premium
about
Pete.
Premium Pete sauce and your hot sauce a little. What about a convention where, like, we have both sauces?
We're gonna set up a booth at Complex
the
Con. It's
crossover
like-
event of the year.
Yeah, listen, the mecca of sneaker
Have
people.
you ever
man.
eaten Pete's sauce out of a bucket with a spoon?
I have not. I need to try that. Is that what you're telling me?
You haven't seen where like Pete was on the news and they're like, oh, this guy does sauce, and like he's driving through Brooklyn and he's in the backseat of his car and he pulls out a big bucket of sauce and he has like a spoon that's this long and
I need you to send me that link.
I almost
need
sent
to
you
watch
this
that.
tweet this morning from Pete to you guys
Yeah, I saw the tweet.
6 hours ago. Do the
wine
math.
for
It's
breakfast?
Wine for breakfast. Why not?
Yeah.
This is the man you're trusted to help you make your business
Yeah,
decisions.
This guy drinks wine, eats pizza for breakfast.
I actually met Pete in 2009 at Sneaker Friends in Atlanta for the first time. And actually,
Sneaker
Joe La
Friends in
Puma was there.
Atlanta
Sneaker
for the
Friends.
first time.
Is this the one
Let's
you got
go.
Classic.
What's that?
Is this the one where you got tied up at?
I did
Yeah,
not get
Mayor
tied
Mayor
up.
yoked
Mayor
him
gave
up.
you a
No,
swirly?
No, that's not.
he put him in a chokehold.
That was the
gave
Charlotte
him
one. I did
atomic
not
wedgie.
get tied
Okay.
up. There was a threat, apparently.
There was a threat.
There was a threat after, though.
you got put
Not
in the
during.
closet.
Sneaker Friends Atlanta, though.
Yeah.
Probably where we met.
Yes,
Great event. Shouts to DJ Greg Street.
Greg Street.
What an event, man.
Man, that was like the
compound.
early days,
Wasn't
man.
that the compound?
It was
Rick
at the
Ross came
compound.
through?
That was like Complex Con, like early.
That was
You know
like
what I'm
one of
saying?
my first, like, almost press trips. That wasn't really
Yeah,
a
you were
press
saying it.
trip.
Yep.
Where I was like, wait a minute, I'm staying at like the W Hotel. Greg Street
Yeah.
put us up at the W Hotel. I was like, this is like the best thing ever. And that's where they interviewed the ATF in the hotel room.
Yes.
Yeah, looking like the mafia.
Yes,
I saw
yes.
those
Do
guys
they all
in
have
there.
the,
Classic interview, G-Rock from the
Letterman
shoe
jackets
game.
on?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
And
those
they were
guys
like
are all
the-
legends, man.
yeah,
all legends.
all
As
day.
is G-Rock.
Of course.
Yeah.
As
Shout
is
out to
G-Rock.
G-Rock.
And they were like all day the most dangerous
G-Rock's
man
wife
in
is
sneakers.
is from Virginia, so I see him every time he comes up to see the
Love
in-laws.
that. Love
Yeah.
A lot
that.
of history, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you still love it, which is great.
I still dream about sneakers.
Still
I
outside.
still get that feeling of anxiety if I can't get my hands on a pair. That still happens.
What's
up
your
to this day.
sneakers app win percentage looking like?
I'm at like, I think 30%, maybe 25, 30%.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually that'll be 1 in 4. I'm at like 10%.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the last thing you hit on it?
Last thing I hit on, the white with the gum bottom. That wasn't on sneakers.
Regular
it was on,
Air Force One?
Nike. It was on just on the regular Nike app.
It's just the Air Force One, white
Yeah.
with the gun bottom?
Yeah.
I'm
But
surprised
I
he
have
hasn't
hit.
asked for your phone.
I hit on the Carolina blue off-white Jordan 1s.
Yeah.
okay.
A
Big
lot of
hit.
us said that was a nice one. Yeah.
You resell them?
No, I still have them. I actually got a call early, and somebody was like, "Yo, they're dropping at like 1:23 p.m." And so I kind of had the early heads up, and then I think 1:23 came and went, and nothing happened. And I texted my dude back. I was like, "Yo, they didn't drop." He's like, "Yo, it got pushed back to like 1:48 or some
This is a
obscure
dude
time."
at Nike?
No, somewhere. somewhere in Portland. And
the same guy who flew you out for the thing.
and so I knew they were coming. I mean, I was literally like refreshing the app.
Yeah.
And I texted everybody, and I got a pair. Actually, what's so funny is the guy who told me about it, he's also a size 9, and he didn't even get a pair.
No.
Wow.
But
I'll tell you what, pull up your app today, 4 p.m. Eastern.
okay.
Did you
Yeah.
get exclusive access?
No.
Off-white
Nothing.
dunks, no?
No, I watched all the videos, everything. Nothing happened.
Did you want a pair?
Everybody that I do my podcast with, shout out to Jerome Baker III, the best the DJ in DC. He got a pair, early access, and a whole bunch of friends of mine got early access. I did not.
Did you want them?
Yes.
You like them?
Yes. I actually just
I
wanted.
don't know if I've ever seen you
Which
wear an
one- which
off-white
color?
shoe.
I just wanted any one of the whites and the black.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Joe's got the black one in the
I know, Joe.
Not really.
Well,
Mine's
it's stuck in
mine's
customs.
in
So
customs.
middle. Can you help out with that?
I'll make a call for you, Joe.
Okay,
Don't worry
need
about it.
that.
I got you. I'm gonna call my guy at DHL. We're
Okay.
gonna get this pushed through customs.
Oh,
Really?
DHL. I thought you were going to say DHS.
That too.
Look at that if you want.
We can call somebody at DHS for him. Yeah, I got you.
Appreciate that, Abdul. I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. This was fun.
Yeah, I might be opening up a store in Baltimore.
What
Wait,
kind of
so-
store? A
yeah.
sauce store or a sneaker store?
I'm looking into it. That there's a chance. You know, Baltimore has always been a very underserved and underappreciated community. And
Shout out to Carpet.
And we don't shout out to Carpet. And
Yes.
the last time we ever had a sneaker boutique in Baltimore was a spot called Gente, and
Oh, yeah.
which was a great store, but they kind of went away after a few years, and we just have never had anything owned by somebody from Baltimore. So I'm hoping something happens.
Yeah?
We'll see.
Lock down a little neighborhood account?
I'm gonna put it in the air and just see
Okay.
what happens.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, definitely, because I haven't told anyone.
Well,
so.
we appreciate it. And thank you so much for making the trip to New York. Came correct with the Paris
I
dunks.
appreciate
in the
you guys,
rain.
man. Seriously.
And thank you so much for,
this
like,
is an
listening.
honor. I'm serious.
Goes
Yeah.
both ways. We
I
really
appreciate
appreciate
it.
you taking the time.
I'll see you guys Complex Con.
Yes. Front row.
We're going
He'll
crazy.
be in there before we're in there.
Yes.
He's
Got a
gonna
better badge
get
than
us
I
in
do.
trouble, like with
He's going to be in the suite. The
HR.
road manager's going to be in the suite at the hotel.
More than
I'm
I
not
can
gonna
say.
give away too many secrets of how I got into that green room back there, but
We'll see you there for sure
Yeah,
in
I'll be
November.
there.
This has been the Complex Sneakers Podcast. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Have a good weekend, and we will see you next week.